What's up, YouTube? Excuse me. Shoot, how did everybody like that snow? Yeah, that was a weird storm, wasn't it? They said a quarter inch of ice. Yeah, right. It's more like a half inch, almost an inch. But anyway, yeah, I could just, I don't know. I get a sense like something really demonic was behind all this stuff. Just putting up a wall just to make sure everything would go the way it did. Oh, I was fighting like hell. But the problem is, I can't show emotion or that I'm upset. People will run with that 20 feet in the wrong direction and then use it as manipulation to do other things just because I gave them a look and told them this is bullshit. Just because it was bullshit. It's fucking insane. All you gotta do is look at the fucking footprints. They're all right there. Now, some of them were being hidden from me. I didn't know any of that was going on. Not until after this accident. Then I started noticing who was putting what up behind when and when all this really came about. And what's really messed up is this started back when I was in Lakeside. I mean, she was doing crazy stuff in Cedar Hill too. But I really, really thought that it was just her being young and dumb. Then, when we ended up getting into the trouble in Lakeside and losing that place because of her wrecking our car and making us give up the place that we own the land to because she wanted something bigger and she wanted to move the family right in the middle of all the bad shit going down in there. And I should have known that she had a plan at that time because I think she knew exactly what she was doing. Even though I told her what would happen, I believe that was her plan the whole time. Yeah, when CPS stepped in, they were coming after me like you know, I don't know why. Somebody was saying stuff to them. That's why they were coming after me. And I beat all that, proved all that was bullshit. Then found out that it was her mother that was doing it, and she was trying to get custody of little David. And that's when we had Jazz. The reason she pulled that is because she wasn't allowed around our kids. And Tiffany was talking to family members about what was going on with Jazz. So it got around. And I was too, so it could have been the same family member that uh went and manipulated her mom again, because that's what he does. He'll manipulate people into doing stuff that he wants done, if you know what I mean. Yes, illegal stuff that he knows he'll get in trouble for. He'll get them to do it. I don't know how he does it. He manipulates people out of their shoes, and I don't know why they fall for it. I really don't. But like I said, I've been noticing this trend of that type of manipulation in my stepdad and my other nephew, John, which was basically raised by my stepdad. And I've seen it before too when I was a kid. And all of it fits the sociopath that they said that Brian was when he was in elementary school, which nobody paid attention to or did anything about. Imagine that. And I know a lot of people have heard me talk about the story about when he stole a blower motor that he was supposed to go in exchange and get me a new one for me while I was working on it. He was into heroin at that time. I did not know that. He's always drank and done things. I've always tried to get him not to do these things, but it doesn't change the fact that he'll still do them. Um, oh yeah, he started all kinds of shit, man. All kinds of stuff. Him and my stepdad were the ones that took my court date papers out of the mailbox for Tiffany and made them disappear when we were going through all the estate stuff. Because I made every court date every time, and then all of a sudden, nothing showing up, and I'm getting in trouble. Yeah, they even had somebody hand deliver it to me and made me sign for it at the end after I had already gotten in trouble. But Tiffany had gotten in trouble by the estate because she wasn't doing what she was supposed to, and of course, she blames me for that when I didn't say anything. And they asked me if I wanted her removed. I said no. I left it up to the judge and all that. And her lawyer that she went and got her out of that. That was her own doing. That had nothing to do with me. Um, but Brian, hey man, he was playing all kinds of games. He got mad because I told him, you know, he needs, he owes me that money that he took because he never got that blower. We had a blizzard coming. Um, Tiffany had blown up our van again. So, oh yeah, she did that a lot. Just another thing that she would manipulate it, saying that she could do, which was maintenance on her vehicle, which was a flat out lie. She blew that freaking engine I don't know how many times. Yeah, I rebuilt it and put a new one in it, and then rebuilt it again, and then put another new one in it. And she just kept running it low on oil. And I don't know how she did that because after the second time she blew it, I was the one changing the oil. So she had to have been letting oil out or something, or racing it. That's the only thing I can think. Yeah, it was a Dodge Caravan, built-in child seats. It was a nice van. She destroyed it. I mean, literally destroyed it. But anyway, yeah, Brian was on something. He did something to his dad because he wanted his dad's plug pulled, even though his dad showed a lot of signs of improving every day. Then he would fight with people, then he would stay there overnight. And other people were like, oh, he was locked up. No, he didn't get locked up until the middle of all that because they wouldn't pull the plug and give him his way. So he went and robbed people. Not only that, the whole situation surrounding his dad and how that whole thing went down. I know that was caught on surveillance camera. It was in front of businesses where they found him unresponsive sitting in the car. That is not far for walking distance, especially if somebody's scared they're going to get caught. The thing that happened with Kenny and my nephew's sister, he was a part of that too. The thing that happened with Uncle John, uh, Pop's sister's husband, that was him and his cousin, John Rouse, that did that to him. Yes, they do this, they get away with it, and then when nobody's looking or paying attention, they meet up somewhere later and make it seem like, oh, we're just family. Yeah, that's what they do. I don't know if the rest of the family knows about it or not. I really don't. They should. I mean, but yeah, that's how he pretty much played a part in it, and he helped to manipulate Pop because he knew those were the people that were in the court systems as well. So if he could manipulate them, nobody would listen to me. So that was his part. Tiffany's mom was the mastermind behind all of it. I know Brian talked her up to it, but she was the one that came up with the plan. I already know that. Yeah, that's the type of woman she is. Very controlling, and she knows everything. She was also the one found guilty with no fine, no nothing. Yeah. Oh no, all these people played a role. I don't know if my stepdad knew or not. I would like to believe he didn't, but I don't know. The way he treats me, I don't know. I've never done anything wrong to him. He's just got that older sibling fucking bully ass cockiness. I'm better than you, and you shouldn't be in my presence, is how he acts. Which he's not better than me. He can't even do brakes. He tried to say I didn't, which you must be fucking stupid. You know how many brake jobs I've done right here in this driveway? Are you serious? Okay. But anyway, he had to sit out there and watch me like a hawk. It took me 20 minutes to change front brakes. Took me about that, a little bit less than that, to change the back brakes. Full brake job in less than an hour. With somebody asking me all kinds of fucking questions. It's like, dude, really? Why are you doing that? That's not how you do it. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I've never seen people do it that way. Seriously? All because I loosened one bolt and undid the other bolt and flipped it up. Pulled the old shoes out, compressed the caliper, and then put the new ones in and put it right back on. Bolted it in, tightened it up, went to the other one, pulled both front tires off at the same time. Because I'm doing it in the driveway. I don't have a lift or two jacks. But even with two jacks, I still want jack stands under the sides because I just don't trust that. But anyway, I've replaced their fuel pump. I replaced all their calipers on the white car before they got the SUV, and uh, they put a aftermarket thermostat on it, so it wasn't strong enough to push the spring. So I had to go and get a Cadillac thermostat. Then I found out who the brand or the company was that makes it for Cadillac, and just started buying through them. But yeah, I had to do that. And somebody put a water pump on it that wasn't uh, GM. And with this type of car, you have to use all the GM parts. You can't use remanufactured, all that crazy stuff. You have to use the actual company that they use. A lot of people just buy either Cadillac or Oldsmobile and then end up paying an arm and a leg when you can actually go uh, to the company that makes it for them, which in this case was AC Delco. So I went through them and got the parts they needed for that, got that fixed, and then they ended up getting the SUV. But they sent it to my brother for struts, and ever since then the car is every time he it hit the brake, pulls to the left, like something's not tight enough, or they didn't put something back right. Um, the sway bar link hits the axle at times because you can see the scar on it, and you can see how far they cranked the bolt up to where it's like dropped so far down. It's insane. There should be a freaking bumper there, and there's not. Uh, One of the rear calibers that I replaced, they had welded, yeah, welded around the brake hose that goes into it, and I don't know. So I had to buy a whole new caliper and hose for that. It's back to the way it should be now. But yeah, I couldn't believe they did that. And I flushed out all the old fluid and put new fluid throughout the whole system. Did that with power steering, uh, brake fluid, and coolant. Because most of the time that stuff only lasts about 2 3 years, and then you got to change it. But yeah, I don't know nothing. I've just swapped engines, trannies, freaking. You wouldn't believe the shit me and Uncle John would do. But yeah, things Brian was doing was setting stuff up and trying to manipulate me into positions where he could, you know, do shit to me. Like when I first got the place, it was still in Lakeside, but it was up the street a little bit because Tiff threw a fit and wanted it because she felt it was bigger and better. And I told her, we just got this for a tax sale from the person that rents that out. That is not going to be able to be gotten for a tax sale, and it's not going to be able to be rent to own. Do you understand that? He's pissed because we got this from a tax sale that he was delinquent on. So he's going to be looking for any reason to do something to us, and you're going to hand it to him. I don't care about him. I want it. You're not listening. Yeah, the one we had, all we had to do was the full porch that I put on it. All we had to do was box it in and drywall it. Put a few new outlets in. Would have been just as big as the one she was flipping out about. Then we get up there, we get the place that she wants. She doesn't do anything with it. I painted the hallway, got everything nice. It's going to take down the drop ceiling that somebody had put in it because it looked like shit. And I put in an electric stove because it had gas that somebody had taken out. So I ran a breaker and a line and put in an electric stove. Yeah, worked great. Uh, but yeah, man, I couldn't believe that she did that. But getting away from, I was putting a one of those latch locks on my back door, and Brian was there, and he kept telling me to put it at the bottom or the very top corner, and I'm like, if I do that, it gives them a leverage point. I said that's why handles and all that are in the middle. And I said, yeah, I think that's where I'm going to put it. And he got mad as shit because I put it in the middle, which makes it harder to get in the door. Which means he was trying to set me up to, come in my house. Now, this is after he has stolen the blower motor and threatened to shoot my kids over stealing it. And yes, it was over stealing a fucking electric furnace blower motor. Yes, I do smoke weed. No, I don't do any of that hard stuff. And I use it, but I'm not addicted to it and I don't abuse it. Yeah, I can sit it down and walk away, but I have multiple times. The point is, do I want to? Because it does help me better than Adderall does. And it's a lot safer. So I never said it was completely safe. I said it's a lot safer. So that's why I agree with it. Do I agree with it that it's a complete fix? No, because no medicine is a complete fix. You still gotta have a handle, and I do. I have a great handle on what on my ADHD and all that. People fucking with me is not the same. That's pulling me out of my personality and character. So, but yeah, he pulled a lot of stuff, and it's just funny that the same people he tried to involve are the same people that are around this situation. He tried to involve my cousin Jimmy. He tried to involve my brother. He tried to involve my sister. Playing manipulative games to try and get us all fighting. None of that shit really worked. My brother always played games behind my back. That's why me and him don't talk. Yes, he will play your friend to your face and be stabbing you in the back the whole fucking time. That's my brother. And it doesn't care. It doesn't matter how respectful you are, loyal you are, or anything. He will do it regardless, and he doesn't give a fuck. He is relentless about it, and he doesn't care. He will twist and mangle it any which way to make it right in his mind. I don't want to talk about my brother right now. Okay. Just happened to be an example I could use. But yeah, if I fight back, I'm the bad one. So I'm basically always pushed to let these motherfuckers do whatever they want. And I think that was another manipulation tactic they used so they could get away with what they were doing. Yeah, I told you. They had to team up because everybody, all of them, had an attitude towards me. Why? Because I was running a business that they didn't do anything to fucking help with. That's why. This is why I hate being here. Anytime I do anything good, they try to destroy it all the time. Yeah, they'll try to mirror it and act like they're better and then skip off, you ruining my reputation every chance they get and trying to show that, people should come to them. And it's the same thing I put up with in my business that apparently is frowned upon if you beat people up for, but it seems to work. Oh, I get it all, especially when they say I can't do something and I do it 1,000 times better than they could ever imagine. Oh, I've done it a lot of times. See, Brian tried to take my nickname as Mr. Fix It. Yeah. My brother tried to do the same thing. Yeah. But these two were so fucking incompetent. I'm surprised they could tie their own shoes. Right. I got my brother a job building decks. Okay. In county not far from ours, right next to it. And wouldn't you know, a few years later, there's a big bulletin that goes out about a contractor that was building decks and not lagging them to the house. Guess who that turns out to be? Yeah. So, mom's paying for your Jeep. You're using her. You're running around doing crack and coke and drinking. I get you a job and you fuck it all up. Then you act like it's my fault. Hmm. Oh, boy. Yeah, I could talk about the shit that motherfucker's done for fucking probably hours. Excuse my language, but Yeah, this girl sent text messages, voice recordings, all kinds of stuff showing that she was still stalking me, and they won't even look at it. Won't even look at it. Why? Because it proves them wrong. Yeah, a person like that shouldn't be wearing a badge. People on the internet, when I showed them the videos of the kids talking about it, everyone said that's fucked up. There was a couple of people on there trying to, say, "Oh, you coerced it." You fucking idiots. Then how come I'm not the one responsible for the act? And how am I going to coerce them into something their mother is doing? They said it. It happened with them. I was nowhere around the situation. So I don't get it. If you're going to coerce a kid to say something, don't you also have to manipulate the act to happen? So please tell me how I manipulated this act to happen. I would love to hear this. You have kids in a room saying, "Mom's going to hurt us. We are scared," multiple times. Then they come back on another weekend and say, "Mom's planning on hurting us in a dangerous situation to get you in trouble. She's planning on manipulating your friends and family before." What did she do? Exactly that. It's right there. I know it is. Yeah, it's the same thing the FBI's been doing with all these other incidents that they've been a part of. Oh, yeah, that's it. Case closed. When it makes no fucking sense. Doesn't match up to anything. It's just because they said so. Yeah, same idea and mindset behind what's going on with this. Dangerous situation. This is what they said on video. This is not what they said in person because there was other things they said that we didn't get on video. And remember, that was few few months before anything happened, but she alienated them from me for almost a year, which was breaking a court order, all because of them telling me stuff like that and me trying to, talk to police or whoever I could to try and get them help without me doing it myself, which I should have just handled it myself. I would have been in jail for the rest of my life, but the kids would have been safe. But now, of course, I had to once in my life listen to my fucking parents. Yeah. They watched all kinds of shit. They watched Talon come here with a broken nose. They watched her sit Nolan behind the car and almost run him over multiple times to get out of situations like that because she did not want to be questioned. Uh, I would talk to my mom about her putting David through the wall in the basement. Uh, the cut on the top of his head, everything. I just don't get it. And then my cousin Kathleen started adding stuff in that she had heard at the funeral, and I'm like, when did you hear all that? Because I didn't. But also, I was being tortured again at the funeral. So yeah, she even did it at the funeral in front of everybody. Her sister got up there and said something about us forcing her to watch kids, which we never did that. I promise you, we never did. This is why I hate when people say shit like this because I do have home videos that show she was there, but we were also there. I will tell you exactly how that went down. And when she found out that we were having Kirstens, they weren't living with us. Now, when we had Kirsten, they moved in shortly after. Now, Cheyenne is a full-fledged freaking girl power everything, okay? She didn't like the boys at all, but she wanted to watch Kirsten. She begged and begged and begged Tiffany to let her watch Kirsten. Tiffany finally let her, but it was with Tiffany's stepmom and Tiffany's dad, Freddie, that was there. And they only watched them for maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Yeah, me and Tiff just went out to dinner. That was it. And it wasn't even far. It was the Bellas and right back, which was not even 5 minutes from the house. But anyway, she that's what she said in her speech, and Tiffany tried to like shrug away and act like an asshole to me after she said it. Trying to play that it was true. It was not true. Cheyenne, you know damn well you would never watch my kid. I didn't even like the fact of you watching them with her freaking dad and stepmom there. Her stepdad's a fucking pill popper, which is your mom, Cheyenne. Yeah, I've known her for a while. She's a piece of shit. Yeah, the one that cheats on your dad, right? The one that pops pills and all that shit. Yeah, okay. Shut up. And it's like everywhere I turn, man, people are just fucking having this fucking attitude. And most of these people don't even fucking know me. They're never around me. So, what the fuck is this? So, yeah, that's exactly what took place. And Brian has been manipulating them even with him being in Tennessee. And he knew I was getting close to his ass. That's why he ran. Oh, of course he's going to say all kinds of shit. He went down there and did the same shit. Now he's in all kinds of trouble with his friend's fiance that he went down there to take. And yes, he did say that. Yes, he did. And I have witnesses to it. He thinks because it's his grandmother, his brother Zane, and that chick Sam that I was dating. I can't say I wasn't dating her because I was. She wouldn't leave me alone. She wanted to go out. We went out, just talk as friends. We even came back here. We still nothing happened. She was trying, but for some reason she just after that just kept. I don't know what it is about these girls that keep bugging me. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know, I need to stop doing that. But anyway, that's what she did, and I said, all right, fine, we'll hang out. We'll hang out because we hung out the one time, and apparently she acted like she really liked it. All we did was goof off and watch TV, man. It ain't no different than what anybody else does when they're friends. But whatever. And yeah, she was fucking just as crazy as Tiff was. On the same fucking shit. It was almost like a Jana and Tiffany mixed together. I'm like, oh fuck no. Yeah, she tried to move herself into my house, which she did. She tried to manipulate everybody in the house, which she was starting to. She would wear like lingerie stuff upstairs in front of everybody. I mean, see through, no underwear, no nothing underneath. I mean, you can literally see everything, plain as day, right through it. I don't know why girls do that. I think they love starting fights. They know that's going to start a problem. But that's what they do. Not only that, she had a car and another dude's name that was supposedly just a friend, but she would always bug to take him lunch, and she would get money off of him behind my back, things like that. You just have to see what I'm talking about. Like the one time we went up there, his imagine that his name was Brian too. Uh, we dropped lunch off to him, and she gets out the car, right? After she's done, showed him, she was sitting in the car, she showed him everything that was in it, right? She ties it up, she gets out the car, and it's just the body language and the movements. Like, if somebody goes to stretch and put something on top of a car, they're not all slow about it, arching their back and, making sure people see every, angle that they're twisting. And that's what she was doing with the eyes batting, the look. And I'm like, what the fuck? And after that, I told her, I said, look, I gave you trust and everything you're doing, you would totally freak out if I was doing that. And she tried to say, no, she wouldn't. I said, yeah, you would. I said, if I watch Ridiculousness, which is something me and my kids watch because Rob Dyrdek was a skater, and we used to watch him skate all the time. I think it was Fantasy Factory, and it's something me and my kids really got into. When he started his show with Ridiculousness, we got into it, and I would watch it. And she got pissed off because Chanel West Coast was on it, which at the time I didn't even know if Chanel West Coast was actually a dude. Sorry, Chanel. But there was rumors going around, and I'm sorry, because of that laugh and the voice, I did start to believe it. Just a little bit. Well, I was getting kind of skeptical, especially with all this stuff going on with, people today. So I didn't know. I thought maybe Minkus did do that. And I know his real name isn't Minkus, but that's what it was on Boys Meets World. And no, that turned out to be wrong as far as I know. And I even said something to Chanel on Facebook way before this relationship between me and Sam even started. And I don't want to call it a relationship because I was only doing it, one, to see, hey, if, possibly she was a decent girl. She wasn't. Two, because she seemed like she really, wasn't going to let off of it until she at least tried it. And yeah, she was another one, dude. Would not back off sexual things. Would get mad if I said no. I don't understand that. Fuck is wrong with you? And everybody else, like all the fuck boys, I know that. Okay, I know what the fuck it's called. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. My brain just doesn't think along those lines. All right. I know exactly what it is. Yes, fucking Yvonne would use it all the time. So would Bethany. So would Jen. So would Tiffany. Maybe that was the problem. But apparently, all these girls were a so-called nympho freak, whatever. All of them. But apparently, that's hard to believe. Well, whatever. But yeah, this girl would take pictures and video of me while I'm sleeping. I'd cook for her, I still held the door for her. I still did all the chivalry stuff, even though she was a fucking complete psychopath. And before, well, it wasn't before. She had three kids, two by one guy, one by another. And they would always say that, she didn't really come around and visit them. Well, for some reason, I started making her go every weekend. And then I told her, I said, well, but she started flipping out about it. I don't see why we got to do this every weekend. I said, first of all, they're your kids. I said, second of all, you're their mom. You don't really do much with them. You should. And she got mad about that. And I'm like, well, put yourself in my shoes. One day, they might not be there. You really want to be in that situation? Because you have the time to spend with them now. And trust me, they're only going to be that small for so long. And she got mad at me. Yeah, it just fucking crazy. Just a woman lying through her teeth, trying to, pretend like she's better than what her actions really were. And it's different when they, actually try to be better, but none of these ones did. They said they were, but their actions never proved that. I thought I could just, tell the truth. Happens a lot. There's plenty of stories out there that match pretty close to stuff like mine. But apparently, when you're dealing with a lot of mentally and emotionally unhinged people that are very good at making up delusional realities, she's not that smart. There's no way she put this together. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be ignorant. I don't care what she did to me. I didn't care that we were broke up. It was the same thing with Bethany. I didn't care that we were broke up. Same thing with Yvonne. I acted like they didn't even exist. But apparently, if they can't get you to do what they want, they just say you did it. I keep saying, y'all are lucky they didn't survive. Because if they would have, this would be a totally different story coming out. That's amazing that I'm their father and I have all this stuff and nobody wants to listen. Of course, I'm going to yell. Of course, I'm going to scream, especially when people try and fucking be ignorant with me. You don't have to be ignorant if you don't believe it. You can be like, that's unbelievable. You can say, that's hard to believe. It's right fucking there. You don't think it was hard for me to believe that she actually did this? I thought it was just a bullshit story to get me to act up and, you know, like I was doing, trying to get them, you know, to be protected. And she was going to play sweet and innocent like nothing was going on. So it looked like I was just being an asshole. Or that I was upset that we weren't together. Bitch, please. When we first broke up, yeah. And she left here. We were broke up for 3 or 4 months. But when she left here, I was really worried about the kids. And at that moment, yeah, I knew she was going to go to her mom's. I knew she was going to do something, to stir up trouble. I didn't know to what extent. I just know that's the way she acts. I don't know. We've broken up before over way worse circumstances. Way, way worse. I never fought with her. Nothing. Gave her a hug, kiss on the forehead, and told her, I wish you the best. I wish that you didn't do that. And I walked away. That's when shortly after she would stalk me at my work. Of course, I don't take it as stalking. I take it as, oh, well, she must have missed me or something's going on. Yeah, I was being stalked. That's what was going on. I assure you, I've never stalked anybody in my life. Not like that. Playing hide and go seek, sneaking up on the kids to say boo or one of them. I mean, yes, that is a type of stalking, but totally different. Yeah, I got all kinds of shit on my background. 90% of it never happened. All because of peace orders. Even though judges told me it's no admission of guilt, it protects you both. So I keep it in place, and I didn't violate it. The only one I was set up to violate was the one against Jen, and I'm the one to get that in place. I could have busted her balls right there in fucking court, but I was waiting because I wanted her to show up to Tiffany's and I was going to bust them both at the same time. Yeah, then it got dismissed because the state's attorney got nervous and the judge got mad at the state's attorney and dismissed it. Then the state's attorney tried to threaten me with arrest if I spoke of my kids again. And that's exactly when I looked at the judge and said, yep, this is over my kid's death. And there's a lot of foul play. That's when he stormed out. Yeah, imagine that. State's attorney's blocking you from getting justice for your kids. Why would they block it if it's going to make me look stupid? Right? If I don't have nothing and it's just going to make me look dumb, what are you so scared of? You know who's a family with the state's attorney, right? Brian. Yep, yep. Guess who else is friends with the state's attorney? My brother's wife. Imagine that. Who was Tiffany dating behind my back because of the shit she was telling my parents? Brian McMahon, which was my brother's battle buddy that was living at his house with him and his wife. Right. See, they tried to involve all these other people in, like, I don't know what to call it. I guess little side schemes. So it would be more confusing. Not only that, so all these people would have this bad outlook that are around me. My brother will say anything. So will my sister. They've always been that way. These people don't know that. Tiffany does. Jen does. Yvonne does. But it's funny how none of those people will come to bat for me like I did for them. Especially Jen over there. Yeah, so many lies. You just can't tell the truth now, can you? Yeah, I bet you can't. Too worried about that image on you, huh? My question is, what kind of drugs were you doing to be involved with a person like Sam and Dex to begin with? And who the fuck put you on those? Was it Phil? Definitely didn't seem like Westwood, but it's possible. Were you on pills when we were dating? I'm starting to think you were. That would explain your ups and downs with your mood swings and all the craziness. At least a little bit of it. Uh huh. Tiff used to have that same shit when she would come down off of a Percocet. That's how I knew she was taking stuff. She'd be really sweet, and then all of a sudden she'd be the devil for no reason. Yeah. When she first started taking them, she'd be the best person in the world. You couldn't ask for a better person. But as soon as that stuff started to decline, she turned into a demon. Straight up evil as person you could ever walk in front of. I don't care what you were doing. She hated you. Yeah, babies. These people, just like the Bible said, lovers of themselves, cold. They don't care. They don't care until it's their kid or somebody they love. Well, it's ridiculous, really.